Gender fluidity is the idea that you can switch from being male to female gendered or any other number of recently identified genders based on mood, and it's not controlled by anything and you can't actually, measure it in any way. In other words, it's not really any different from any other gender identity that has come up during the past 10, 15 years, except that there's this really weird just defensiveness over gender fluidity, wherein those who claim to be gender fluid, and majority of them tend to be female, they refuse to see the misogyny inherent in claiming that wanting to wear comfortable clothes or non-revealing clothes or non-sexualized clothes makes them male, and wearing more sexualized, attention-grabbing clothes makes you more female. And rather than just view this as personal style and enjoying a variety of wardrobe options, they see it as an innate gender identity, which it's, I guess, no more silly than the rest of it. But when you look at them, at these videos, these TikToks and posts and whatnot, there's always this argument that gender isn't clothes. I promise it's not clothes. Well, it's stereotypes, and a lot of those clothes are stereotypically assigned to women or men to wear. But you know what? You don't have to take it from me. Here are some TikToks with some gender fluid individuals. See if you can guess if they're male or female, talking about gender fluidity.
Can we fast forward to go down on me? Stop there and let me correct it. I wanna live a life from a new perspective. You come along because I love your face, and I'll admire your expensive taste. And who cares if an intervention? I wanna be praised from a new perspective. But leaving now would be a good idea. So catch me up on getting out of here.
And of course, this girl thinks that she's being super revolutionary because she's applying makeup too to make her face contour to a more masculine visage. And again, that's just clothes and makeup. You didn't prove anything. You're still the same person, still female, still of the sex that produces ova. You didn't change anything but your style. And if that's what you want to do, go out, go ahead. I have fun. I don't see a problem with that. But pretending that changing your outfit and applying some makeup changed who you are as a person is just incredibly diluted.
Here's 5 signs you might be gender fluid. At least they were for me. Number 1, you have tried to be trans. But there are some days that you just aren't.
So what? Some days you just forget you're supposed to have a whole new pronouns, you're supposed to have a whole new name, or what? Is it just that you realize you don't actually want to go on hormones that'll mess up your body for life because of the negative impacts? Or is it just that you realize it's not fun on some days to go ahead and play pretend? Which one is it?
And you know you're not cis. Number 2, if you've ever tracked your gender fluctuations to try to get sense of this whole thing.
What are you tracking? Like the stereotypes you conform to every day? Do you just go throughout the day and go, I slept on my side, and that's a feminine trait. Check. Oh, okay. I pushed past someone on the sidewalk today. That's masculine. Check. And then at the end of the day, tally it up and see what gender you were. Because to be honest, this sounds mentally ill. I feel like most people, hopefully those of us who are relatively functioning adults, just go about our day. I will throw on a dress sometimes for work, or sometimes I'll throw on shorts and a t-shirt. I don't think it through beyond, what did I last wash, or what can I get away with hiding the stain on? I don't understand why you have to go through this whole process if it was so innate and natural. Would you even really be checking these fluctuations?
Tracking your gender, clears everything up. Number 3, you taught yourself to tuck or pack or tried on some fake boobs, and it felt so right that you cried so much that you didn't want to take them off, but then the next day, they didn't feel like anything at all?
Yeah, when I was in high school and I was a cheerleader, I actually tried binding for a little while, and trust me, binding when you're doing physical activity is stupid as shit. And I learned that very quickly when I could not breathe. And then the previous, wow, I'm so glad I can wear this button-down shirt and nobody will be staring at me, and the creepy men on the way to the library aren't going to be flirting with me, and at a glance, someone would say, sir, or young man, and that felt great. Not because I was truly a man inside, but because I was escaping misogyny. But that escape from misogyny was brief, and it did not outweigh the physical discomfort of binding, which I'm sure for penis havers, you can have a similar sentiment.
Number 4, you have come out at least 3 times as 3 different things. I'm bisexual. No, I'm pansexual. No, I'm trans.
So 2 of those things were this exact same thing. One was just more pretentious, and the third thing was, I like to be gender nonconforming sometimes and want a label that won't make you bully me. So you really only came out twice, and only one really made any sense.
No, I'm gender fluid. No, I'm a gender fluid trans woman. No, I'm... And number 5, let's really drive this home. If you want to start HRT and transition, but you're more scared about losing something than you are about regretting the change, you're probably not going to regret anything, and you're probably gender fluid.
If you're that indecisive, you probably shouldn't get a tattoo, let alone start HRT. Because let's for a minute pause here, and just as I have recapped in like 300 videos at this point, the detriments of HRT. For women taking testosterone, you have higher risk of dementia. You are going to get osteoporosis. Stay on it long enough and you're going to have issues with uterine collapse. You're going to have issues with your vaginal walls getting thin. You are going to have so many health issues that they downplay and pretend it's totally fine and reversible, and it's not. Now, as a guy taking estrogen, you have a little bit more room for reversibility, but it's not going to change the fact that you are going to have permanent changes, and you're not even addressing mental health problems before you jump into it. So I don't know why there's this great advice of, if you're too indecisive to think of a stupid label to place on yourself, then you should go ahead and just consider taking hormones just because. Because obviously you wanting to wear different clothes on different days means that you're definitely, in the right state of mind to call yourself with this new label and still get on hormones. Okay, sure.
The girl boy, not girl, not boys, who not girl, not boy, girl boy. Floger Boylan.
Very much boy right now, so this is the fit. I've been wearing this all morning. It is 12 and I'm still feeling boy. I have all day. It is now a few hours later and I did my makeup and got all femme because I'm feeling so girl right now. And yeah, this is the fit. This is the makeup. Yeah. It is now 9:30 p.m. and this is probably the last time I'll be wearing a fit. I'm feeling very much agender feminine, but still like no gender. Yeah.
So as we have established, gender fluidity is just changing clothes, in the same way that all transgender identification is essentially an acceptance of stereotypes, either as an escape or as a fetish of some sort. Same thing goes here. Except instead of wanting to commit to one or the other, it's just sometimes I like to wear comfortable clothes and sometimes I like to wear sexy clothes, and they call that gender fluidity. So the thing is though, why do people come to this conclusion? As you can see, there are guys, obviously, who do this, but I've noticed it a lot in girls. And I would say it's because of the recognition that objectification and sexualization is pretty much inescapable. I'd consider myself pretty gender nonconforming. I'd call myself butch. Sometimes I wear dresses, though. For the most part, I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt every day. I've got the short hair. I'm definitely not wearing makeup, painting my nails. And so it's nice sometimes to have that thought, maybe I have been freed. Maybe men will not harass me. Maybe I won't have to worry so much when I go out to drink. And that is the lie. That is a devil on your shoulder, because the truth is there's always someone out there attracted to what you look like.
As a woman, there's really nowhere you can go and nothing you can do where you won't risk encountering sexual harassment. Not even if you're giving a lecture on the philosopher Immanuel Kant at Cambridge, as Professor EP did recently. I'm going to show you in just a moment why she says, make sure your hair is neatly tied and that you're not blonde, or else your research impact will be on the spectator libido section. Theater critic Lloyd Evans was in the audience, and this is what he wrote about the talk. Like being chained to a lunatic. That's how a man feels in relation to his libido. And the lunatic latches onto anything, irrationally and without warning. In Cambridge recently, I dropped into Downing College for a lecture given by a beautiful historian, Leah EP, from Albania, whose discourse included this observation about revolutionaries. Once they attain power, they lose all interest in revolution. Good point. Her blonde hair spilling over her shoulders absorbed far more of my attention than her political reflections, and I was desperate to speak to her afterwards, but I had no way to orchestrate a meeting. Instead, he says, I headed for the rougher end of Cambridge, near the railway terminus where the misfits and outcasts gather. I'd already arranged a social rendezvous at a private business location. Here's how it works. You hand over a roll of banknotes to a concierge at a desk who ushers you into a softly lit room where your companion awaits you. He did not engage with a single substantive idea from her talk, and when he left there, he went straight to a massage parlor. You may have seen this video that I posted a couple of months ago where I talked about how equating a woman's success to her physical beauty, which is part of what this man is doing, is objectification of women. So imagine you have a PhD, you've studied literature and philosophy, you're giving a talk on a very serious topic, and someone in the audience who somehow has a national platform to write about whatever he wants decides that the thing he wants to write about is how you're so attractive he couldn't pay attention to your talk. This is from Dr. EP's website, where she lists some of her degrees as well as some of the books she's written. And as she notes here, she's won the 2022 Royal Society of Literature Ondaatje Prize and a biography prize as well. In writing this article, Lloyd Evans reduced her from Leah EP, professor at the London School of Economics and thought leader, to a sex object. Going back to that tweet, I don't think it would have mattered how she wore her hair or any other aspect of her appearance. He was always going to reduce her down to her physicality because he doesn't see her as a human with tremendous intellectual capacity. And that is the fundamental problem.
And I think that a lot of these girls are in this weird little bubble where like they recognize where the danger is and what it is, but they don't know how to address it or what to do to get rid of it. So instead, and of course they still want to be accepted on some level by society. Obviously we all do, and that's why we agree to certain norms and certain behaviors. You pick and choose your battles. You decide to sit down and talk quietly in restaurants because that is the smart thing to do, that is the polite thing to do. But you might decide, yes, I'm going to go ahead and be in a homosexual relationship because that's my mountain I'm going to die on. So in the same way that a lot of so-called trans women will boy mode at work or in important context, a lot of these gender fluid people will dress gender conformingly in situations where they'll otherwise be punished for it. And of course, the other end of the spectrum is that there is a group of people who are concerted at making sure that we reinforce male and female gender stereotypes, but make it progressive and cool and neat. And so when you have people who are thinking, why is it a problem when I want to wear like a suit and tie to my sister's wedding? Or a guy going, why can't I paint my nails at the office? All the women do it. Instead of coming to like the end conclusion that gender is a cage, it is imposed against you, it is not a thing you choose, it's not fun, it's not expression, it's a cage. What you instead end up with is stupidity, put it simply.
I don't really know how else to tell you this, but if you saw me dressed like this, walking down the street in my heels, pretend I shaved my beard and I had one of these on my face, you would have no fucking clue, all right?
For example here, the lie that gender identity suddenly turns women's clothes on a man into women's clothes on a woman. And it makes this idea persist that people, A, cannot recognize sex, which for the most part we are very, very accurate at, and B, that to be a woman means to be feminine and to be a man is to be masculine. And this is being painted as progressive, and gender fluid fits into this regressive, progressive worldview, and is further supported from criticism because it's related tangentially to transgenderism, and you cannot touch that topic. No, it's beyond reproach. You cannot criticize God, or else you will be sentenced to the fire for hearsay.
I don't really personally use passing as like my threshold for womanhood. I understand that a lot of trans people want to pass. It's a goal. I respect it deeply. It is not one of mine. It's not how my fluidity functions. I don't live for the validation of other people deciding what they think that my gender passes as. I love my presentation. I don't need your validation from it. I do not receive this. And I would really caution you about policing other people's gender expressions because it's just not your fucking business. If you look at me and you see a man, that's your transphobia that you are projecting onto people like me, and you're just making the world less safe.
Anyhow, this, dear viewers, is where we part. This is very obviously an unscripted video because I'm not using my announcer voice. And you might have also heard the lizard that just climbed into my apartment squawking. Let me know if you can hear random chirping in the background. And let me know what you guys think about gender fluidity. This was a request by someone a while ago. I write down all the requests in like a Google document, but it's like 5 pages long now, and I don't write down who it came from, and so I can't shout at the person and be like, this video's for this person, because I lost it, and I'm going back to like 2021 with this list of topics that I have and have not touched. If you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, you can let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!